Okay, this is section, geometry section 9.1. It's called Circles and Circumference, page 643. We've already discussed last week before we went off to break, we discussed these things, but I'm going to run over them again just real quick so that you can get an idea of what we were talking about. A circle is the set of all points in a plane that are equal distance from a given point. That given point is called the center, and it is a point. So in this circle, point X is the center. So this is known as circle X. Do you understand what I'm saying? So even though the center is not part of the circle is named after the center. Okay? We form a radius, which is from the center to a point on the circle. It's a segment. So in this case, the segment is XC. And you'll notice that I do use a line because I'm not talking about the length of it. I'm talking about the actual radius. Okay? Another radius is XA. Another one is XD. You understand that? Now, plural of radius is radii. R-A-D-I-I. Radii. Okay? Then we have a diameter, which is the largest chord. I skipped chord, I'll come back to it in a minute. In this case, the diameter is line segment AC. A diameter is twice the radius. The radius is half of the diameter. So if the radius is 5 centimeters from here to here, the whole diameter is 10 centimeters. You know, if I give you 10, it would be 5, right? Okay, now that means that this is 5 and this is 5. Do you understand that? All radii are the same in that particular circle. You understand it? A chord is a segment that doesn't necessarily pass through the center. It can. It's a segment that joins 2 points on the circle. It can. The largest chord is the diameter, but it doesn't have to be. A chord can be down here, up here. I mean, it just has to connect 2 points on the circle. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in this case, the chord is AB. Okay? Does everybody, so if I ask for the center is X. Those are the ways I want you to label them. And remember, in geometry, labeling is very important. Correct? Notation is everything. All right, so all circles are similar. Okay? Okay, all circles are similar. Please sit on my desk, please. Put your hands behind your back. All right, there we go. All right. Now I get to listen to her all day. Okay. Since you were sitting on it, come see me at noon. Okay, let's just leave it over there. Concentric circles are circles that have the same center. You see how they have the same center? And they're just, like a bullseye is a concentric circle. Correct? Okay. Circles can intersect in 2 points. They can intersect in 1 point. Look at this one. It's inside the other one. And it intersects in 1 point. Or they don't have to intersect at all. So they can intersect in 0 points, 1 point, or 2 points. Now, if you can say they can intersect in infinite many points, one can be on top of the other one, which would be the same circle. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. The diameter of circle S, this is circle S, is 30 units. So from here to here is 30. You understand that? From S to C is 30 because that's the radii. Oh, I'm
15.
sorry, diameter, it's 15. So from here to here, it's 15 units, correct? All right. I'm just going to put 15 if you don't mind, because putting more on this picture would cause some confusion, I think. Then it says the diameter of circle O is 20. So from here to here is 20. Is that right? Oh, no, it's 10. Why is it 10? Because the whole thing is 20. Okay, all right, the whole thing is 20. So the question is, and ds is 9. So ds is from here to here is 9, right? So how far is it from C to D?
6.
How do you know that?
You just subtract 9 from 15.
Okay, did you need to know the 20?
No.
No, you didn't really, did you? Okay, so yes, this is 6 units. Is that correct? All right. And if you want to look at that a little closer, it is on page 645. It is example 3. Okay? Now, there are two things that we're concerned about with circles, and we're only going to talk about one in this chapter, but I thought about introducing the other one because you've already talked about it before. Circumference, C-I-R-C-U-M-F-E-R-E-N-C-E. Circumference is the distance around a circle. We talked about that last week. It's a distance around a circle, right? Circumference is 2 pi times radius or pi times diameter. The thing you need to know is that sometimes we leave our answers in terms of pi. If we leave our answers in terms of pi, though, that means it's an exact answer. And then sometimes we convert it out and we use decimals, which is a rounded answer. You understand what I'm saying? So if I ask for an exact answer, I want answers in terms of pi. If I don't want an exact answer, if I say round to the nearest tenth, I want you to use the pi button on your calculator. We do not use 3.14. I know in elementary they say, or wherever, a lot of times they say just use 3.14. You have a pi button on your calculator. What's the difference? The one on your calculator goes out to 7 or 8 places. 3.14 goes to 2 places. So it's much more accurate to use the pi button. You understand that pi goes on forever. Okay? And your calculator just rounds it at the end of the window. Okay? So there we go. Area is pi r squared. There's a difference. This one we're doubling the radius, and then we're taking it times pi. This one we're taking the radius times itself. We're not doubling it. We're taking it times itself times pi. You understand the difference between the two? So if your radius is 6, you take 6 times 2, which is 12, times pi. You get 12 pi. If your radius here is 6, it's 6 times 6, which is 36 pi. Do you understand? Okay. Find the diameter and the radius of a circle to the nearest hundredth. This is supposed to be hundredth. Hundredth, I believe. Let's add TH on there. To the nearest hundredth, if the circumference of the circle is 106.4 millimeters. Now you'll understand that I actually did a harder problem than what you're supposed to, because I want you to find the diameter and the radius. You understand what I'm saying? So circumference is 2 pi r, or in this case, pi times diameter. So let's go ahead and find the diameter. The diameter is actually easy. They give us the circumference. So that goes in for C, 106.4 equals, and I'm going to use this formula because I'm going to find the diameter. All right? So I'm going to take pi times the diameter, which we don't know, correct? So we divide both sides by pi, and we get the diameter to the nearest hundredth to be what? 33.89?
No, 7.
33.87.
Oh, 100, sorry.
Okay, 33.87. What's my label? Millimeters. Okay, now keep that in your calculator. Don't keep it as that, because I know it didn't come out even. I know you rounded it, right?
Yeah.
Now, to find the radius, then, all you do is take that answer and divide it by 2. So that would be what?
16 point. It just be
16 point what?
93.
Okay, now I'm gonna really try to stress something here, guys. You get to use calculators. So your answers should be as exact as can be. So if you round this one before you divide it, it's possible that you will get the incorrect answer. And your book doesn't always match your answers. I want an exact, as close to it as you can get. So I want you to leave that answer in your calculator and then just divide by 2. So it's closer, it's more exact. It's not perfect, but it's more exact. Do you understand? All right. Let's go up here. Let's talk about inscribe and circumscribe. Okay? Yes, it's a tough word. All right? Inscribe means that you're inside the circle. So if I say an inscribed quadrilateral, it's inside the circle. If I say circumscribed about, then the circle is inside it. okay? It's on the outside. You understand the difference? Do you understand it? Okay. Here we have a square that is with side 9 inches long that is inscribed in circle J. Find the exact circumference of circle J. Okay, a lot of your standardized tests love questions like this because it uses the concept of squares to circles and all puts a lot of geometry things together for you. Okay? Well, first of all, this is a square, so all the sides are 9 inches, correct? And if I cut this across like this, that's a diameter, isn't it? And this happens to be a right triangle. How do you know it's a right triangle? It's a square. It's a square. All right? That means that these angles are what?
45.
They are 45 degrees. A good old square, anytime you have a diagonal, it works great. Now, so you don't know the hypotenuse. We know from a 45, 45, 90 degree triangle that the hypotenuse is how big?
9 square root of 2.
9 square root 2 inches. You should know that. And that's an exact answer, my fast furry friends. Do not use a calculator. Okay, because it says find the exact circumference. Okay, so we now know that the diameter is 9 square root 2, the whole thing, right? So now we have circumference equals pi times diameter. You could use the radius, but why divide by 2 when you already have the diameter, right? So it is pi times 9 square root 2. Now, writing this is kind of an interesting thing. We don't want the pi to come first. We want 9 pi times the square root of 2, and that's inches because circumference is around it. That is an exact answer. I see some of you playing on your calculators. If you multiply this out, you get a decimal. That is not an exact answer. So this is the answer that they want. If they wanted a decimal, if they said round to the nearest tenth, you would take 9 times pi times the square root of 2. Yes?
Oh, never mind. I just answered one question.
Okay? And you can do it in any order, but to me it makes sense to take it 9 times. You could take, why don't we go ahead and do that? Take 9 times pi times the square root of 2, and let's see if we come up with the same answer. Or as everybody else. What did you get, Kyle? To the nearest tenth.
40. It just does 39.98.
39.98. So 30,
So it'd just be 40, wouldn't it?
yeah, 40.0 to the nearest tenth, right? Okay. All right, are there any questions? Okay, so if we turn to page 647, there's a few things that we have to go through to look at. We're going to start with 10, and I just want to take a look at 10 through 13 here real quick.
Sorry, Summer.
Yeah, it is. Now, you do not have to draw from 10 to, you might have to on 13, but when they ask you to name something, you do not have to draw. So let's take a look at that. Utan. Number 10 says, name the center of the circle. Okay, it would be R. Is it capital R or does it matter? It's capital R. It's a point. It's capital R. If you put little r, it's wrong. Little r stands for radius. Number 11, identify a chord that is also a diameter. So I want a chord that is also a diameter. Gigi? A chord that is also a diameter. SU. Now, do you have to put a line over it, Bo?
No.
Yes, because we're not talking about the length of it. So you have to put a line over it. Number 12, Carly, it says, is line segment VU a radius? No, it is not. What is it? Line segment VU. It's a chord. All right. 13, CJ. If SU is 16.2 centimeters, what is line segment RT?
8.1
8.1 centimeters. How did you get that?
divided it by 2.
Divided by 2. Okay, so you understand where you're going on this. All right. So here's your assignment. Oh, goodness. You can see why I'm trying to heat the board. The assignment is page 647. Page 647. Numbers 10 through 21, comma, 22 through 42 even. And it is due, I know some of you are gone tomorrow, it is due Thursday. So you'll have a work day tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow is music, correct?
Oh, today's not Monday.
Today is not Monday. Yep, you can shut her down.